Okay, so now we're going to do a Cushing or Connell suture pattern. Remember the difference between the Cushing and Connell is the Connell is full thickness. It's going to go into the lumen. The Cushing is superficial. Does not go full thickness bite. But we're going to start them the same way as the limbert. That way you only have to learn one way to bury a knot. So to start them like a limbert, remember you're going to go just past your incision site, and you're going to go near to far or deep to superficial. So that's going to be the red line to the blue line, black line. And then you'll take a bite that's directly across from it on the opposite side from the black line to the red line. So that's the far line to the near line. And remember that the needle end and the free suture end are going to want to point down through your incision so that when you tie them, they don't go over the top of that loop. And another thing to think about when you're practicing at home is since you're going past the incision site, there's no pocket for this knot to drop down into. So you need to take a little bit of a wider bite than maybe what you think you need so that you create a deep pocket. So I'll take a wider bite when I'm beginning and then ending compared to the ones in the middle, because the ones in the middle have an incision with them. So now you're going to do same thing we've been doing. Do 4 throws. And you'll pull parallel with your incision site. Great.
Okay.
And you see that red line drops down in there, so it becomes deep, and the black one is going to become superficial when you pull. And you see this knot is burying really well because a wide bite was taken. Okay, so the difference between this one and let's say Utrecht or the Connell, Cushing, and Utrecht are different than the limbert, because with the limbert you would continue because you have a deep bite and you would just keep going with the limbert, deep to superficial and then superficial to deep. With the Cushing, Connell, and Utrecht, you start with a superficial bite. So what you're going to need to do now is go back and get superficial. So the next bite, if you're going to use a limbert to start a Cushing, is a deep to superficial bite, or a red line to a black line bite on the left side of the incision, so the non-dominant side. So you take that bite so that you can get back superficial.
So I just kind of do the same thing.
You're going to do it.
Red line.
Just another half limbert bite, red line to black line. And now you're superficial again. So since you're superficial, you can go ahead and start the Cushing or Connell or Utrecht, because those all begin superficial. So that's the one difference in burying a knot between the limbert and then the other 3 patterns, is you just have to do that one extra bite to get back superficial. So now that you're superficial, you'll go directly across the incision from where you came out and just start your Cushing pattern. So that is going to be like you're traveling down the black line and you're going to be parallel to the incision site.
Okay, so on the black line.
On the black line.
So right across where my suture came out, right there?
Yeah, and with the Cushing and Connell, you can overlap slightly. So go back just a little bit from where your incision started, but you don't want to go back too much or forward too much because you'll cause a leak. So I think where you went in right there was great.
Okay.
And the same thing, then your next bite is directly across and back just a little bit to create that seal.
So, like right here, like right here.
Sure.
Okay.
And when you pull that tight, you'll see those two black lines are going to come together. There you go. And you can see, you can really appreciate how it's starting to invert.